Straight ahead on 12 News, a tremendous show of support.
Seeing her go through this, we just wanted to see a smile on her face.
A Brooklyn Park grocery store rallies around a beloved employee. Then a rescue in Plymouth pulled off by a young boy wise beyond his years. But first, an event in Brooklyn Center that will shed light on a global problem. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Every year, experts say human traffickers generate billions of dollars in profits off their victims.
Human trafficking can take the form of prostitution, forced labor, even organ and tissue extraction. Now one local survivor has dedicated her life to putting an end to the practice. Delane Cleveland joins us now with more. Delane?
Hey, Mike and Alex, Bukola Oriola came to Minnesota from Nigeria in 2005 to live with her husband and continue her journalism career. Instead, she says her next 2 years were filled with emotional abuse and forced labor, and she was essentially kept as a prisoner in her own home. Now she wants to help others avoid that same fate.
What can we still do?
What we can do that can work effectively is education. We need to be talking more about it.
Bukola started a nonprofit organization called the Anytime Story to serve human trafficking victims by advocating for them and referring them to resources. Bukola says when she came to Minnesota, her husband forced her to work long hours at her home braiding hair. She couldn't keep any of the money, she had no means of transportation, and she was threatened with deportation and having to leave her son behind. Since 2009, she's told her story to groups around Minnesota, which is what she'll do Saturday in Brooklyn Center.
Because we believe in the power of education. The more we educate, the more we are going to be able to prevent our loved ones from becoming victims of human trafficking.
Saturday's event takes place at the Brookdale Library and goes from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Bukola also wrote this book about her experience. After 2 years of torture, she broke away from her husband by going to a shelter for abused women. Mike?
All right, thank you very much, Delane. Despite rate hikes in each of the last 3 years, Xcel Energy now wants 4 more years of rate increases. The utility plans to offer what it calls a rate moderation plan that would involve smaller increases to be spread out over the next several years. Xcel says it needs more revenue to cover $1 billion a year in investments in electric generation and transmission. For the rates on your utility bill this year, Xcel had asked for a more than 10% increase, but the Minnesota Public Utilities Commission reduced it to just under 4%.
For Golden Valley-based Mortenson Construction, the Vikings Stadium project is the largest in company history. But a new report shows the company is struggling to meet the budget for the project. The Vikings and the Minnesota Sports Facility Authority agreed to $737 million in construction costs. However, Street and Smith Sports Business Daily reports Mortenson is $45 million over budget. It could force the team and the state to cut corners to make the stadium fit the budget. Mortenson is required to submit its guaranteed maximum price for the project next week.
Well, Halloween is supposed to be a fun time for partiers, but the State Patrol says it gets downright scary sometimes on the highway. This weekend is known as Halloween Party Weekend. The State Patrol put together a public service announcement showing what they see on Halloween. In the past 5 years, 7 people have been killed in drunken driving crashes on Halloween Party Weekend. More than 2,000 others were arrested for DWI. The State Patrol says troopers and local police will be increasing their presence to crack down on impaired drivers across the state this weekend.
A drowning can happen in a flash, but the fast action of a little 9-year-old boy likely saved the life of his younger brother.
I was swimming in the pool and I saw my brother at the bottom of the pool.
Alex Howe dove into the deep end of a Plymouth pool last August and rescued his 5-year-old brother Nathan from the bottom. The boy's dad was able to do CPR and Nathan is fine today. Older brother Alex was recognized by the Hennepin County Sheriffs with an award of merit. Alex's dad says he's still amazed by what Alex was able to do to save his younger brother.
I don't know how he was able to pull him from the bottom of the pool because I've swam with the kids, and it's not easy hanging on to one of them without a life jacket on.
Also at the Sheriff's Award ceremony, 21-year-old Jeff Reset picked up an Merit Award for saving the life of Nancy Breberg last January when she was trapped in her car overnight in a frozen lake in Plymouth. They call her a second mom. Up next, the show of support for a Brooklyn Park grocery store employee who's had to endure so much.
Then later in sports, it is a fast-paced battle as Prairie Seeds takes on North St. Paul at the boys' state soccer tournament.
But first, a forecast that should not get in the way of any weekend plans. Festival Foods is known for its big green sign, but now workers in Brooklyn Park are going green for another reason.
Reporter Sonia Goen shows us what they are doing for a fellow co-worker.
You guys have a good day.
Cashiers at Festival Foods are doing more than ringing up groceries.
Would you like to help out our boss and donate?
They're lending a hand to their coworker, Mary Leach.
Mary, she's one of our managers at the store here.
Seeing her go through this, we just wanted to see a smile on her face and help her out.
Mary was first diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in June of 2012.
Lymphoma cancer, yep.
After a round of chemo, she was cleared.
Thank you. You have a good one.
But then the cancer came back a month ago.
How could it be? It was very emotional. It was hard.
So we're just doing a little fundraising to try to help her out as much as we can.
Mary has a long road ahead of her.
Well, thank you for your donation.
She stood her foot down and said, I'm going to beat this one.
She's tough, and I know she'll hang in there and fight it out. How are you today?
She'll have to endure several rounds of chemo and then a bone marrow transplant at the Mayo Clinic.
This here is for one of our bosses at the store, Mary.
Mary is not alone in her fight.
I figured, like, ordering wristbands would be kind of a cool way to start spreading the word around.
Her fellow co-workers are wearing bright green ribbons.
So on this side of the bracelet, it says, "We got this, Mary."
And bracelets to show their support.
Help raise money to support her and all of her chemo and all of her treatments that she has to do. Then on the back, it says "Kicking Lymphoma."
The bracelets cost $4.
Thank you.
But festival workers say you can't put a price tag
You have a good one.
on the amount of support they've received for Mary.
Sometimes I'll have someone stop up to the table and say, "Oh yeah, I know Mary," and then people will be like, I don't really actually know her. And but they still will just want to help out the cause.
Mary has worked at this store since it first opened. That's more than 16 years ago. Her fellow co-workers say that she's more than a friend, she's family.
She's like our second mom. The energy when we walk through the door that she brings and her smile, she's just a wonderful person.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Mary won't be able to work for many months, but so far her co-workers have raised more than $1,000. There's also an online campaign, and if you'd like to help, you can get some more information about that on our website, 12.tv. It's nice to know when co-workers have your back like that. Really nice. Well, coming up, a movie showing tonight that has a Maple Grove connection.
But first in sports, action from the Section 5 volleyball tournament as a couple of local teams advance. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back.
Well, this is more than a tune-up for the state meet for cross-country runners. I mean, you have to do well now in order just to get to the state meet.
It's now or never, right?
Right. Now or go home.
So that's right. Some are done now for the season. The top prep cross-country runners will head to Northfield a week from Saturday for the state meet. Teams in Section 5 AA race for section titles Thursday. And the girls up first at the section meet in Anoka. 2 teams plus 8 individuals not on those teams advance to state. Rachel King of St. Michael Albertville races to the girls' title. And then it's the boys' turn on the 5,000-meter course. Another St. Michael victory. Chase Ko takes the top spot. Maple Grove's Mitchell Dickerson and Sean Heaton are headed to state as they finish 4th and 5th, respectively. Here are the final team scores. Centennial wins the boys' meet. The Cougars and Mounds View advance to state. Maple Grove finishes 3rd. Among the other local schools, Rogers is 5th, Totino Grace 6th, Osseo 7th, Champlin Park 12th, and Park Center 14th. Joel Lewisell and Kevin Dado from Grace qualify for state as individuals. Anoka and Totino Grace finished 1-2 in the girls' meet to qualify for state. Maple Grove finishes 6th with Rogers 9th, 1 spot ahead of Osseo. Park Center is 12th, and Champlin Park 15th. The state soccer tournament is in full swing now. The Prairie Seeds boys played their first-class AA tournament game. Prairie Seeds ready for action against North St. Paul, and the Vikings are sharp early. Charles Huberty with a great pass to Munir Peterson Darbaki. His pass deflects off a defender's foot and in. Darbaki gets credit for the goal, and it's 1-0 Prairie Seeds. Another look shows the slight deflection by the defender. The Lycans up 1-0. The Polars, though, answer. Adolfo Barrera Gonzalez to Justin Oliver. He finds his brother Tyler all alone for the empty net. We're tied up 1-1 through the first half. Early second half, the Lycans get caught short in front of their net, and Adam Hildebrandt blasts the shot in. North St. Paul holds off some late chances, and they eliminate the Lycans 2-1. In girls soccer, Benilde-St. Margaret's is the number 2 seed in the Class A tournament. The Red Knights met Duluth-Denfeld in the state quarterfinals. First half, Benilde's Jordan Mattis, nice crossing pass to Emma Vanderheide for the shot and goal. It's 1-0 Red Knights midway through the first half. And Benilde dominates this match throughout. Second half of play, same combination, almost works for another goal, but Denfeld goalie Megan Lazaro makes the save, diving out to stop Vanderheide. Denfeld gets no shots on goal in the match. Benilde wins 1-0. They play Mankato West in the semifinals Monday morning. Dutino Grace plays Blake in the other semi. So far, so good for the Osseo volleyball team. The Orioles have lost just once all season, and they are the top-seeded team in the Section 5 3A playoffs. The Orioles hosting Maple Grove in the section quarterfinals. Game 1, nice dig by Osseo's Jaslyn Teniolo, and Megan Pekarik able to set the ball for her sister Hannah for the kill. Osseo up 11-4. Jackie Jones serves out the sets, delivering an ace here. The Orioles take the first one 25-11. The Crimson play much better in the second set off the Osseo serve. It's Kayla Crane with a quick set to Lauren Bright for the kill. Drove down just 2 at 12-10. However, the Orioles hold that lead. Megan Pekarik setting to Christina Bowe for the big attack. Osseo wins the second set 25-21. Orioles coach Bill Kwan watches his team dominate the third. Hannah Pekarik with the kill. Osseo wins game 3 25-7. The Orioles host St. Michael Albertville in the semifinals next Wednesday night. At Champlin Park, the second-seeded Rebels host Centennial. Game 1, Janae Alderson getting the tip for a Rebels point. Then on set point, freshman Sydney Hilly hammering home a kill. And Champlin Park wins at first one 25-18. Second set, Hilly sends the long set to Alderson for the hit down the line. The Rebels building a lead 11-2. The Cougars, though, come back. Olivia Jensen with a kill. And it's 17-13 Rebels. But Champlin Park holds on. Caitlin Kearns, Alderson blocking that one, and they get the game point. 25-17 win. On to game 3. Hilly, perfect set. Maria Sampson with the kill. The Rebels sweep Centennial. They advance to the semifinals. That will be next Wednesday at Osseo against Blaine. And that is a look at sports. Lots of prep football on this Friday night in Class 6A.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Now to Local Vote 2013 and the race for Brooklyn Center School Board.
Tonight we hear from Janelle Collier, who is running unopposed in a special election to finish the 2-year term of another board member who moved out of state, and Ruthie Dallas, who is running against 4 others for one of 3 seats on the board.
Hi, my name is Ruthie Dallas. I'm running for the Brooklyn Center School Board. As a resident for over 36 years in the district, I am excited for the opportunity to help improve access to equal opportunity and equity within the school system, which is designed to enhance and shape the learning outcomes of all children. My vision is to build strong family, school, and community partnerships and reduce the intolerable disparities in public education that exist in our state. I will work to invest in more support-based reform initiatives and parent and student engagement. Join hands with me by voting for me as a Brooklyn Center School Board member. Thank you for your support.
Hi, my name is Janelle Collier, and I am seeking election for the 2-year term on the school board of District 286. I am running for election as getting out our statutory operating debt is one of my priorities. It is time to look at each of the grants and review, measure, and prioritize the benefits to the students in the district. Students can be overwhelmed by the occupational opportunities these days, along with the admissions and financial aid processes in order to enter institutions of higher education. I'm also interested in District 286 providing students with this guidance during the middle and high school years, along with the assistance with the higher education process. It is time to review all programs and priorities to get out of statutory operating debt while offering our students the education and opportunities to be productive adults. I hope that I'm able to receive your vote to be able to see these priorities completed. Thank you.
Monday, we'll start hearing from candidates running for Golden Valley City Council. Still ahead, a movie with an inspiring message and a Maple Grove connection.
We'll preview Season of Miracles next in Weekend Showcase.
Forget Throwback Thursday. It's Halloween 1900 style on Saturday night at the Eidem Homestead Farm in Brooklyn Park. A night of magic and mystery awaits with family-friendly events on the farm. It's $6 for adults and $4 for kids. Looks like fun. It is set in the 1970s, but teaches a timeless lesson.
Plymouth Covenant Church will show a movie called Season of Miracles tonight. In today's Weekend Showcase, Renee Bonneau explains how its message hits home for one Maple Grove family.
Give me that funny look. Hit a base hit.
Season of Miracles is an inspiring family movie about an underdog Little League team.
Bring me home, Rafer, buddy.
With an unexpected hero.
Bring that.
Rafer is autistic and teaches his teammates sportsmanship and courage.
This was a movie we chose because it aligns with the mission that we have to bring people together.
Lisa Jameson is executive director of Walk Right In Ministries, which holds what she calls movie nights with purpose. Season of Miracles strikes a chord with Lisa, whose youngest daughter, Carly, has a rare disorder called Angelman syndrome.
This movie is especially close to our heart because it deals with the issue of disability and especially features the theme of community and reaching out in a caring way to people who are struggling in whatever way they might be struggling.
That isn't the only connection Lisa's family shares with this movie. The song you hear as the credits roll was written and performed by Lisa's other daughter, Erin. 2 years ago, she won a National Christian Talent Search and recorded her own album. Producers of the movie asked Erin to use the title track Without the Dark. Lisa says Erin's deep love for her sister made this movie a perfect fit.
She has had to kind of find, and still is, finding her way in how that story really has shaped her and fits her own ministry. So this is really kind of an emotional, special, precious opportunity for our whole family to see her kind of uncovering that.
For Weekend Showcase, I'm Renee Bonneau.
You can catch a free screening of Season of Miracles tonight. That's Friday night at 7 o'clock at Plymouth Covenant Church. Free will offerings will be accepted. And that does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Have a great weekend, everyone, and Community Corner is coming up next.